Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is a Montazar from the Chicago camp coming back at you again with another lesson entitled Protection Against Automation. All right, so recently you just had the port workers, or they call the longshoremen, who basically uh, was striking. They struck for about 3 days. All right, um, basically the whole economy, American economy, basically was about to be crippled. All right, because hey, uh, right after the hurricane Helene, right? You had them getting ready to strike. And what they want, of course, is increased pay, a better wage, but they also want protection against automation. Okay. Now, in this lesson, we're going to talk about what's coming to this place, um, and what the enemy's plan is for this place, right? Um, Now, a workforce, just so you know, especially in a capitalistic society, a workforce is a necessary evil. And what I mean by that is you have to have the workforce, all right, so you can get the profits, and then eventually they're going to automate. Okay, so if you look at the thumbnail at the top picture, you can see it says cart manager, right? So if you go to a grocery store, you see one guy corralling 100 carts with this machine. All right, which would have been two or three different jobs. Okay, so with the use of the machine, all right, him guiding it, he can grab like 100 carts at one time by himself. Okay, that's an example of automation. Another example of automation, all right, on the left hand side in the middle, you see what's called a caboose. Now, when I was a kid, at the end of every train, there was a caboose. Now, inside the caboose, you always had one or two guys, and their job was they had a gauge, all right, on that hind end of that train, all right, and they would basically radio to the engineer or the head end of the train and let them know how much brake pipe pressure he had, okay, all right, and also to let the engineer know that the train was still intact and stayed together, right? Well, guess what? Automation has created what's called an in the train device, which is what you see on a coupler here. This orange device, all right, does the same job. Okay, you connect it to the brake pipe, and it monitors the brake pipe pressure, all right, and sends the signal to the engineer. The engineer can see exactly how much psi, right, that he has on the hind end of that train. So this is an example of automation. And with automation, right, people actually lose jobs. All right. And that's what happens in a society like this, right? So at the bottom thumbnail, you see a guy with the high vis vest. He has a sign that says automation hurts families, right? Automation hurts families. ILA stands for job protection. Okay. But you can't get around automation. It's just a reality. Okay, because any business owner, right, is going to look to automate as soon as he can. As soon as he's enjoying profits, he's got research. They call it research and development. All right, he's going to use that research and development, figure out how he can best automate. So it won't be no more sick time, right? He can avoid sick time and vacations. He don't have to worry about wage increases. All right. No lost time due to injuries. No reporting to OSHA. Just pure profit. Okay. All right. So the longshoremen or these port workers, right? They got a tentative deal with a 62% increase over 6 years. So they're going to go from $39 an hour to $63, right? That's what they're thinking, right? Now, on this page, okay, on this channel, rather, all right, I have two videos that will be complementary to this particular video: 10-year plan, all right, and also Power to the Beast. Check those out. So, just real quick, I want to that I had some AI information from 10-year plan that I wanted to just kind of bring back here real quick. Um, this is from geekygadgets.com. AI and automation are significantly reshaping the workforce, leading to job losses and changes in employment dynamics. By 2025, 2 million manufacturing jobs could be automated, and by 2030, it says 14% of the global workforce may need to transition to new careers. All right. Now, data entry jobs, where you have data entry and also data analyst jobs, it says data entry jobs are particularly vulnerable, with 75 million positions predicted to be lost by 2027. That's 7.5 million jobs in 2 years. Okay. It's going to be eliminated. Nearly 47%, which is almost half, of U.S. workers face the risk of job loss to automation over the next decade. So over the next 10 years, almost half of US workers are going to face the risk of job loss due to automation. All right, over the next 10 years. It says 25% of CEOs anticipate cuts of 5% or more due to generative AI in 2024. All right, that's this year. It says, wow, 75%, all right, believe AI will bring significant changes within 3 years. All right. So either way, okay, so you got 25% and 75%. All right. So one out of four CEOs is looking at 5% of job cuts in 2024. All right. And this year is almost over. And the other three see significant changes in the next 3 years. All right. All right, so I won't read any more of that article. That was enough. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with these scriptures. Now, um, the reality is, these men, of course, they don't know what's coming to this place. Okay. They don't understand that there won't be any jobs. They don't understand that there's going to be civil war. Okay. They don't understand that there's going to be manufactured famine. All right. All right. So this is uproars and earthquakes. It says Second Ezra 9:1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days there were before thee, even from the beginning. Now, we've had earthquakes and more earthquakes, all right, that has been reported. All right, I actually did a lesson on those earthquakes. You can also find that on this channel. There's a lot of earthquakes that's going on that we never even hear about. Okay, but we have had earthquakes in diverse places as well. All right. Also, uproars of the people. There's uproars of the people all over the world, constantly, all the time now. Okay. Even in 1920, all right, when this whole so-called pandemic dropped, you had uproars of the people then, just like you have uproars of the people now. Profit sharing versus spirit of grape gatherers. Okay. Profit sharing versus the spirit of the grape gatherers. All right. Now, the head of the Longshoremen's Union was talking about the profits that these companies have been making, all right, that they work for, and talking about $1 billion bonuses and things of that nature. Okay. Well, the owners of the business get into business not for altruistic reasons, right? They don't do it for the good of mankind. They're in it to make money, right? And they don't share the profits. The closest thing you're gonna get with profit sharing is stock, right? You buy stock in that company, that's the closest thing you're gonna get to profit sharing. They pay a wage, right? You agree upon a wage, and that's what they base everything off of. That's your portion. Your wage is your portion. So it's actually unrealistic, right, to think that you should be sharing in the profits to the point, right, where you're saying these guys should be sharing. Well, that goes against the spirit of Esau anyway, right? You got the spirit of the grape gatherers. This is Jeremiah 49:9. It says, if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If these by night, they will destroy till they have enough. All right. But not Esau. See, Esau he has that, he's going to get all the corners. All right. So Israel had a law, all right, that the Lord instituted, where when you would harvest your fields, you left the corners for the poor and the hungry. So therefore, a person can walk up on your property, or he could stay off of your property and just be on the outskirts and actually pick from the figs or the grapes or the uh, olives or whatever you had that you were growing, and basically it was for the hungry. It was actually a form of like welfare. All right. And it was beautiful because you just left a little bit of the corners for those people who were hungry. But Esau has the spirit, all right, where he gonna gather every grape. And you see him doing this on all the continents on the earth. Okay. What he does is he goes in and he steals everyone's natural resources, okay, and he depletes it and moves on. He destabilizes their economy just to get the resources, and then he moves on. All right, and you see it also in Africa right now. Okay, in Africa still has, um, the most resources on the planet: gold and diamonds and um, everything on the periodic table. All right, is in abundance over in Africa. All right, and you see the wicked over there, stabby jabby and poking these people over there. All right, in an effort to basically destroy them. Okay, keep them from reproducing, to basically take the land. All right. You can also, I did a video on that on this channel. It's called Land Grab. All right, so you can expect things to get worse. All right, no work. All right, and manufacture famine and also civil war. That's what's coming here. All right. So Ecclesiastes 12:3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay? All right, so there's not going to be any joy, okay, in this place. All right, there's not going to be reason for singing. Okay, that darkness, you won't be able to. It's like what's in the future. You can't see what's going on. All right, and people going to be waking up to the sound of the bird and not the sound of the humming of movement and people working. Okay, so those keepers of the house, these rich investment bankers and everything, they're going to be terrified. Okay, terrified because it won't be no work here. Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear, because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Okay, so this place is not gonna there won't be any work. Okay, there won't be any work in Egypt. Okay, America is spiritual Egypt. All right, spiritual Egypt and Sodom and Nineveh. All right, uh, uh, and Babylon. Okay, so America is a synonymous with all those things. All you have to do is look at your dollar. All right, and you can see the pyramid on the dollar. Okay, in Egypt, this is the house of bondage. Okay, Isaiah 30 and 1. It says, "Woe or destruction to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk down, or that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." Okay, if you trusting in this place, okay, you trust in this place. This place is going down. Okay, it's circling the drain. All right, and it's almost at an end. Isaiah 19 and 2. Okay, so what do you have coming? You got civil war coming. Isaiah 19 and 2. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. All right, they're going to be trying to figure out what is going on here. Okay, but the Lord is tearing this place down. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, and as a side note, this the Helene, right, the Hurricane Helene, it's not being reported, okay, but there's actually a lot of people whose homes were washed away, and all of their resources and all their goods have been washed away. There's been reporting of looting. Okay, you have people that it's not being reported on the news, but the people themselves are saying that you got people banding together and basically kicking people's doors in and taking their food and taking their resources. You see, it's already started. All right. So now, the corrective action plan, complete control. Now, when we talked about automation earlier, right, you have Klaus Schwab, who is the head of the WEF, the World Economic Forum. He talked about technology, and he also said that those who fail to merge with technology won't be part of society. All right. Now, let's take a look at what John F. Kennedy said. He said, "There is a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot." Okay? Now, we all know what happened to John F. Kennedy. Okay? They knocked his block off in broad daylight. Okay? Let's read this quote once more. There's a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and notable office, I intend to expose this plot. All right? Now let's fast forward to Klaus Schwab. Okay? It says, this is his quote: "As the novelty of wearing tech gives way to necessity, and later, as wearable tech becomes embedded tech. Will we be deprived of the chance to pause, reflect, and engage in meaningful, substantive conversations? How will our inner lives and ties to those around us change? Okay. All right. Most of that is mumbo jumbo. All right. But the point here, he says, as the novelty or the newness of wearable tech gives way to necessity. What's necessity? It says, and later, as wearable tech becomes embedded tech. You see? Embedded tech. Embedded where? Underneath your skin. You see that? All right. So we've talked about this very, very much in detail. All right. We broke down the mark, okay? Charagma and charax. All right. Being an insertion. Uh, um, a digital awl, okay, like a stake. All right. So they want to embed you, okay, with an RFID microchip. We've been saying it. Revelation 13:16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay? Klaus Schwab says that as the novelty or the newness of wearable tech gives way to necessity, and later as wearable tech becomes embedded tech. Okay? Embedded tech. All right, and in closing, the Most High's promise. This is Psalms 33:18. It says, behold, the eye of Yahweh is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waited for Yahweh. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let the mercy, O Yahweh, let thy mercy, O Yahweh, be upon us, according as we hope in thee. All right. I pray that this lesson has been edifying. This has been protection against automation. To the next one, Shalom.